It's time for the Taco Truck Roundup, the show where I tell you about everything that's new at AppSumo. I've clicked all the buttons, I've gone through all the menu items, I've seen all the pricing tables, and I can safely tell you which AppSumo deals are worth your time. Let's get into it with today's first tool, which is Aimfox. Aimfox is a LinkedIn outreach tool that allows you to automate your connection requests so you can grow your network, and then you could also do follow-up messages so you can connect with people after they've accepted your connection request. Overall, I really like this tool. It has a beautiful interface, and creating campaigns to do the outreach was very smooth and had a lot of guidance throughout the process, so I always felt like I knew what I've just done and what was coming up next. Now, because cold outreach can be a little bit tricky, I always want to make sure that I'm doing very specific targeting, and I found that Aimfox was really good at this. There was very comprehensive targeting options. I could select by followers, industries, skill sets, you name it. Any of the LinkedIn features, you could really dial in on that and get exactly the type of audience you wanted. After you create your campaign and it's doing the outreach for you, you'll be able to engage with people in the inbox of that tool. You don't have to actually log into LinkedIn. Now, that might not seem like a big deal, just switching browser tabs, but the cool thing here is if you're working with other people collaborating on let's say a client's account, well, now you don't need to log into their actual LinkedIn to do the follow-up. It's all contained in the application. This is a big deal because you start to think about things like two-factor authentication or those little phone codes you get to log in. And even just logging in from all over the country can send some red flags and possibly get your account in some trouble. Aimfox does this the right way. They give every single LinkedIn address a dedicated IP address, and you can set the region for that IP. Very, very impressive stuff. Jumping over to the comments, Dice Gamble says, if they could incorporate post management, I think it would take this tool to the next level. I love that idea. So a little bit of social media management. You might think of a tool like Buffer where you can schedule out your posts. Well, if they just added the LinkedIn capability inside of it, that would be really cool. I think the temptation for developers would be then to turn the whole tool into a social media management tool. So maybe that's why they're trying to stay focused on just the cold outreach side of things. Luck Dragon Falcor says, curious to know what the audience export CSV file looked like. So a little context here in my full length review, which I will link down below. If you want to know more about Aimfox, I spent about 25 minutes going through every single feature. Well, in that video, I actually got to the part where I was building out my audience and there was an export button. I clicked it and downloaded the CSV file, mentioned that you could use this other places, but I didn't tell you what was in the CSV file. Well, Luck Dragon Falcor wants to know, and I am here to tell you it contained their account ID, so like their account number, and then it contained their name, their occupation, their location, and their profile, their URL, that is. No information like email address or phone numbers was found on my search. So overall, I really enjoyed Aimfox. I would highly recommend checking this out if you need to do cold outreach on LinkedIn. I gave it a 7.8 out of 10. And just know that for cold outreach, that is about as good as you're going to get from me. I probably would never rate a cold outreach tool in the 8s, just kind of my scoring system. Up next is SubEasy AI. This is an AI-powered video transcription and audio transcription tool that can also translate your content into another language. Very, very cool stuff here. It does use OpenAI's Whisper model, so it's really fast and it's very accurate. I did upload a few videos to the service. One was directly from YouTube by providing a link, and the other one I just dragged and dropped right into the browser, and it was able to transcribe both of those in right around 2 minutes. The one that I uploaded myself, I did use a stopwatch, and it was 2 minutes and 18 seconds for a nearly 27-minute video. Very impressed with that speed, considering that I had to upload the multi-gigabyte file in that same amount of time. I'm not just talking the transcription time, that's everything all together. A ton of languages are supported with this tool. It will auto-detect what language your content is in, so you don't need to worry about setting that up. But you can do localization. So if there's certain slang or different words that you typically use in your dialect, you can set that up inside of the tool. Very, very impressive. There's even the ability to add your own glossary. The only downside to the glossary feature was the fact that you have to set it up on every single video. It's not account wide, which I think they should probably have both options there to, just kind of say, all right, these are words I use in every piece of content I put out. Just remember them, they're spelled this way. That would be great. After your audio or video is transcribed, you'll go into the editor. There's two views here. There's a subtitle view and a transcription view. In the subtitle view, you can configure your subtitles and style them exactly as you'd like, and then even burn them into the video and export it. In the transcription mode, I did find a little bug where it wanted to show the transcription on the video, which resulted in just like huge chunks of text. Easy to toggle that off, but I think it should be off by default. Now, the developers might consider this a feature, not a bug, but one thing that kind of perturbed me as a user was the fact that the subtitles and the transcription view are very, very different. Well, obviously they're different. One has the timestamps and is meant for subtitles, and the other is just full-length text. But if I change something in, let's say, the subtitles, it doesn't automatically change in the other view. You're going to end up with two different transcriptions. Okay, that's not the end of the world, assuming the initial transcription was good. Who really cares? Well, we haven't talked about translations yet, and you might be getting this tool specifically for the translations. So let's say you have a video and you want to translate it into Spanish. All right, you upload your video, it transcribes it, and then you translate it into Spanish. But you've got to go over into the transcription mode and then translate it again into Spanish. This takes more time, but it also takes more credits, which brings me to the kind of complex billing system that comes with this lifetime deal. So basically, when you buy an AppSumo plan, you're going to get some credits, but before you even use those, you're going to get 3 videos or audio files every single day that can get transcribed. It doesn't include any translation though. So you upload a file, as long as it's under 30 minutes, it'll count as one of your free daily videos. Now, if you go over 30 minutes on any single file, well, then it's going to start to cost 1 credit for each minute. All right. So a 60-minute video is going to cost you 30 credits, as long as it's one of the first 3 videos you've uploaded that day. And then if you want to translate that into Spanish, well, you've got a couple of options. There's a free version using Microsoft's technology, but there's also a couple of different paid versions using their in-house systems. Those can cost you anywhere from 0.2 credits per minute all the way up to 2 credits per minute. So for our 60-minute video, we could be spending 120 credits just to get the subtitles made. And then maybe you want to transcribe the transcription into the other language. And well, now you could be spending almost an entire month's worth of the lower priced LTD on a single video. And we've only got 1 additional language. Now, there is one other place you can spend your credits, and that's with their AI companion. So after you get your transcription done, you can actually interact with it using their AI. You can have it generate show notes, create blog posts, or just ask it questions. Now, if you want to conserve your credits and you already are a ChatGPT user, there is a little button you can click and then just open up their GPT, their custom GPT, sign into your account right through ChatGPT, and it can pull in the transcriptions right there. It's a pretty nice user experience. So that will both save your credits on SubEasy and probably give you a little bit better output because now you're right inside of ChatGPT. Heading over to the comments, Robin M. Star wants to know if it gives you the transcription without the time included as well. Yes, that is what I was trying to describe, where we have the subtitle view, which has the timestamps in it. And then you also have the transcription view, which is just a block of text. That is very easy to toggle between, and they are independent transcriptions, something important to know, because you would hate to be changing things in the transcription, thinking it's going to update your subtitles, export the subtitles, and then be disappointed. And Marv290 says, great looking tool. However, there are so many tools that also offer transcription and subs. It's difficult to see where this tool will go. And I would say that I think the strong point with this tool is not just the subs and the transcription, but it's also the translation, kind of having all 3 of those bundled together. If it had some more team features, I think they would really be onto something where you could, start working on a project together as a team and then move it over into a content creation platform or even ChatGPT. That would be really great. So having an online hub of all of your transcripts is going to be something that people want going forward. So I do think there is a place for this tool, but I don't disagree that there's a lot of competition. There certainly is. Overall, I gave SubEasy a 7.4 out of 10. I think this tool has a bright future ahead of it. It just needs to simplify its billing process and maybe iron out a few of the little anomalies I saw throughout the video. Up next is Xtensio. This is a collaborative document creation platform that works more like a website builder than it does Google Docs. I really enjoyed using it. It has interactive elements and real-time editing with your collaborators, just like you would do on Google Docs. but the output is going to look a lot more like a website. And because it's more like a website, it's also mobile responsive. So it has a one up on something like a PDF, which might be kind of hard to see on your phone. This will work on any size device. I really enjoyed their extensive template library. There are tons of different use cases there. So if you're not really sure how you'd use this tool, just go and check out that template library and you will see a bunch of different options that'll kind of get your wheels spinning. Now, when you're using the tool, you create documents in sections, just like you would a website. Now, what's really nice is there is this presentation mode built in. When you turn this on, every section becomes a slide, and you can kind of thumb through them just like you would any other PowerPoint presentation. There's also very powerful analytics available that show you every single page hit and exactly what is going on, where they're coming from, and basically kind of like a mini Google Analytics built right into the tool. And you can even get email notifications when someone actually opens up your document. So if you're using this to send out proposals, well, you can get a notification when that client clicks on the proposal and opens up the page. The downsides of this one are basically that it's kind of expensive. Like, to get all of the features that you're going to want, you really need AppSumo's tier 3 plan. It's going to include things like the style guide and just the creation of templates and everything. That is locked up behind tier 3. So you might look at it and say, oh, this is pretty affordable. But by the time you get to the plan you really want, you might have spent a couple $100. Other than that feature lock, I would just love to see some more customization and design options for their modules they include when you're building out the documents. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't also look like super high quality or very, very upscale. And a lot of brands are going to want to go for that. So hopefully this tool continues to grow and progress. It is very full featured and they've done a great job with the tools that are currently available. So I don't see any reason it won't continue to get better. Venue.nataraj asks, when we set up a folio to public view, just for some context here, a folio is a document inside of Xtensio. When we set a document to public view, does it effectively transform it into a web page? The answer to that is yes. So then he follows up with, given the built-in analytics provided by this tool, this could create truly a remarkable package. I don't disagree. There are a lot of possibilities with this tool, so definitely go check it out. There's even some templates inside of their plans that are built just for landing pages. So they definitely know that people will be using this tool for web pages as well. You do quadruple 9 says, thanks for this review, Dave. Would you say from your perspective, if one uses Canva, the free or paid version, is the doc format there not better? And my response to that is, well, I mean, Canva is a multi-billion-dollar company that has a huge head start here. So is it better? Well, probably, but you're going to need a paid account, and then you're going to need a paid account for every single user that you want to collaborate with to even get started with collaborative documents inside of Canva. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true because you can collaborate with users in Canva, but they're not part of your team. If you want to have a team of people working on documents, for that, you need to have a team plan on Canva. And even then, if you're fine with the free version of Canva, there's a bunch of other features you're going to miss out on, like embeds or branding control. Essentially, you're going to end up spending hundreds or possibly thousands of dollars per year getting those docs set up inside of Canva. So if you're already using Canva and you use it for other things like social media creation and things like that, you can definitely do documents over there. There's a lot of things they're adding to Canva. It's a very impressive tool. But if you don't use Canva and you're just looking for a doc tool, well, I'd say that Xtensio is definitely a really good value right now and something at least worth trying and considering to see if it'll work for your team. And finally, Alper Kikir, apologize, Alper, if I'm saying your name wrong. He's the founder of Xtensio, and he says, this is one of the best Xtensio reviews he has seen. Thank you for your in-depth analysis and recommendations. Thank you for the comment. That was very, very kind of you. I, again, will leave the link to that full-length review down below in the comments. Apparently, it's one of the best Xtensio reviews out there, so I'm tickled pink. The fourth tool of the week is Genius AI. This is an AI-powered social media content creator that learns your brand voice and creates personalized content for both organic and paid traffic. So what I liked about this tool was the fact that you could feed it so much personal information, and they had a comprehensive questionnaire to really learn about your voice. The goal of the tool is to create content that sounds like you wrote it, not that AI wrote it. So I like that approach. The execution, it was decent, but it leaves a little bit to grow from. I think the main problem that it has is basically the user interface is really, really difficult to look at. It's very purple and there is kind of things that grab your eye all over the screen. It's kind of tough to know where to go next. But to focus more on the actual usage, essentially what happens is after you train it on either your personal brand or your business, you can then go ahead and have it generate some ideas around content. Once you select an idea, it will output a full script. At that point, you can either record directly into the application using their built-in teleprompter, or you can have it generate a full-on video using AI for you. It can output a video with pictures and voiceover, all AI generated. I thought it was pretty impressive, the video it made for me. Now, inside of my full-length review, I was going over a CRM that's kind of just tucked into the application unassumingly. And inside of it, I really struggled to get it to choose a date. Well, it turns out there was a purple button there that I wasn't clicking, probably because there's so much purple everywhere, but it was a select button. And if I clicked on that, then it would have saved my date. Well, I got a bunch of comments telling me, hey, there's a purple button on the calendar that says select. You got to click that. And it says, looks like you have to select on the calendar before you can click save. So that was definitely it. I would say that it's my fault, obviously, but it's also a little bit of a UX issue there. If it wasn't instantly recognizable to me as how to use the calendar, that shows me there is a little bit of a problem. And that small symptom kind of carries throughout the rest of the tool. Things that should be immediately intuitive take a little bit more thought, even just a sliver more than they should, which can build up to a lot of friction over time. David Eiler YT agrees with me. He says, I really like the platform's output and creative suggestions, but the UI UX needs to be streamlined MIO. I get lost. Me too. Also, BYOK is coming. That means bring your own key, so you can use whatever platform you want and not hit any limits in terms of AI. So that is coming, and we'll get access to the Heartbeat and Copilot features, I think. So in my full-length review, I mentioned there's a couple of features and they're not available to LTD buyers. It cost, I think it was like, I don't know, some monthly fee, 50 or $100 per month in order to use them. They were not available. David is indicating they're going to be available. I have not heard that otherwise. So if you know anything, leave me a comment on this video to let me know whether Heartbeat and Copilot are coming soon. Maybe they're already there. I haven't checked. Zach Martin jokes, who runs it? The CIA. And that's because you have to give it so much personal information about everything that you do in order to have it right in your voice that it could feel like you're kind of giving up too much of your privacy. Of course, only share information that you're comfortable with, but I think that was a pretty good statement. And JL271322 says, I ended up refunding. I didn't feel ready for prime time, and it was clearly built for and likely by network marketers. No hate on my side on that front, but it does tend to lead to certain approaches to marketing, which felt quite built into the tool. And he also adds that the Chrome extension was not working on Brave. So I appreciate sharing the sentiments there. I didn't really get the network marketer side of things, but I could see that if the content isn't right for you, maybe you could tweak what you put into the overall goals and your voice. But beyond that, maybe it's just not a good fit. That definitely happens. For me, it would have been the user interface before it was the output, but everybody has a different experience. In closing, I gave Genius AI a 6.9 out of 10. I think it's a decent tool, but it has a little room to grow. Last tool of the week is called Jogg AI. This is an AI video creation tool that allows you to create product videos from just a URL. Now, what it does is after you dump in your URL, if you're selling on Amazon or Shopify, just grab your product URL, put it into the tool, and then it's going to scrape all of the information off of that URL. So product images, it'll learn about your product and generally have everything it needs to create a video. From there, it'll give you some different marketing angles for how you should actually approach creating the video, and then it'll do everything else for you. So you choose one of their templates, which includes an AI avatar, and the whole video comes to life. It's actually fairly impressive. Now, if you want to go one extra step here, you can actually create your own AI avatar. You just have to read a little script that gives them permission to use your voice and face, and it will clone everything else on its own and use you to sell whatever products you load in, even if you've never seen or heard of that tool or product before in your life. Now, is it as good as having a highly trained actor or qualified influencer to promote your product? No, certainly it's not, but it's definitely impressive. It's much better than you probably think it's going to be and takes far less effort. So overall, it was a very impressive tool. Dot over here in the comments section says, thanks for the excellent analysis. What a good surprise. It was exactly what I was looking for. It seems like it's one of those purchases that we're happy with for years to come. All right, thanks for sharing that, Dot. I think it looks like a very exciting tool myself. Star-HB4RP says, which one did you like better, Jogg AI or Zinc? This is an interesting question because they're pretty different tools, even though they're both in the video space. So with Zinc, which I reviewed a few weeks back, Zinc allows you to create a video right inside of the browser, and it does all of the editing and post-production for you, but your actual performance is on camera. Whereas with Jogg AI, you don't need to say anything that makes sense ever. You just have to upload the, overall avatar thing to create that in the beginning, and then you'll never make a bad take ever again in your life, which, believe me, I go through many, many bad takes every single day. If I could eliminate that from my life, I probably would be tempted to. So which one did I like better? I mean, I can't really pick, honestly. I probably like Zinc better. If you force me, pick one. But I like making videos. I find it kind of fun, and I like the process of kind of just doing something and then it edits out everything and gives you a finished product with, the B-roll and everything. I found that kind of exciting. But with Jogg AI, it's very, very exciting in a different way because this is just brand new technology that's really pushing the limits of what humans have ever done in the past. So to wrap things up on Jogg, I gave it a 7.4 out of 10. Really, really impressive tool. I'm excited to see it grow. It's going to do it for this week's episode. Make sure you drop me a comment down below for the algorithm. I want to get this video seen by as many people as possible. Also, Black Friday is coming up. What are you interested in? What deals do you hope to see? Let me know that in the comments as well. Otherwise, make sure you head over to clientamp.com, get signed up for the free email newsletter. I've got lots of content coming up over the next few weeks, so stay tuned to this channel, get subscribed if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. My name is Dave Swift. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.